For me, passion is like a driving force you have inside you that it's pretty much always directed at something. It's like, for me, it's a driving force that pushes you forward in any direction. I'm Shawn. I'm an AUT journalism student. I'm a drag queen. I'm a lifeguard, and I'm a photographer. My first time in drag was just a month after my last partner had passed away. He had committed suicide. There was the night of this party, and I thought, like, I had some stuff. I was like, this is, if there is ever going to be a moment, this is your moment to do it. This is your moment to step out of the house with a wig on your head, in a frock, in heels, to see what it's like. Even if this is the last time you do it, this is when you should take that opportunity. Stepping out of the door that first time and into this party, the first thing that I encountered was like smiles, and it became this thing that while at home I wasn't so happy, I could distract myself by drawing makeup looks I wanted to do, or performances, making mixes. So I just won Drag Wars recently, back in August, and that was the second time I'd competed in Drag Wars. And I did this big mix of songs that favoured Lorde a lot. I wanted to try and bring a bit more of a younger alternative feel to my performances, because you see a lot of the traditional 80s and 70s very camp songs in drag performances, so I wanted to modernise it a little bit. And I ended up tearing off my wedding dress and shaving my head live on stage after removing my wig. Performing that mix and shaving that head in front of that crowd, they lost their minds. It gave them life, and it gave me life to see them living for my performance. But it wasn't necessarily received most favourably amongst some of the queens that were there. Something that did upset me a little bit after that performance is that some of the older queens that I respect a lot weren't such big fans of it. They sort of thought it was a bit of like cheap, because it was like shock factor. Like, oh, you're shaving your head on stage, people are just going to vote for you because you shaved your head on stage, and not many people do that. And from their mind, I can see why they might think of it. They're sort of, oh, it doesn't take much talent to shave your head. And so I think it's quite an interesting reflection on what the drag scene's like in Auckland, because it's all about being very camp with a K and 3 A's. I have been involved in a lot of photography work with my other friend, Victor Serra, and he's sort of like known as the queer photographer in the Auckland scene, and so I've been involved with a lot of shoots with him, but I have had a few opportunities where I've gotten to get behind the camera. Often when you've got lashes on yourself, it's quite hard to pick up a camera when you're wearing up to 8 lashes stacked on your eyes. You can't quite get as close to the viewfinder. So through both photography and drag, I've met some fantastic people with fantastic ideas and fantastic artistic passion. Like my drag mother, Yuri Guy. Not an artist in the conventional sense. She's very much sort of a makeup artist, but she's also a seamstress. She can sew some amazing costumes, but most importantly, I think, is she's known for her face. She has probably the most, I think currently the most iconic face in Auckland drag. She has one of those faces that people see it and they instantly recognise it. I've just started to mix a bit with the Auckland Vogue scene, and that is truly an explosion of creatives. Dancers, visual artists, another photographer, I think, Patty is, I can't remember his actual name, but I think his Instagram name is Paddy is Real or something. And he documents a lot of the Auckland Polynesian folk scene, both of the dancers and the makeup artists and seamstresses. It's a fantastic scene. People can find me online on Facebook as Shavorn Aborealis. That's Aborealis like the Aurora Borealis, and Shavorn as in Shavorn. And then also on Instagram as Shavorn A. That's Shavorn with an A on the end. But my name's not Shavorn A. I've had lots of queens that come up to me and call me Shavorna. But I do have a last name, please use it. Not to end on a negative note, but a lot of people take drag as consent. We wear sometimes provocative costumes, sometimes ridiculous, and just because you can see the upper half of my thigh, even though there's half a couch cushion padding it, doesn't give you consent to touch it. I have 7 layers of pantyhose and a couch cushion padding my leg, so it's a bit less of a big deal to me, but I have friends who will be baring their bare legs in a leotard, and if you run up behind them and grab their ass, we're not going to be here for it.